Okay, we are live. LDBC. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison with Amazing Eric Sports, and you're live on the Combat Sports Show panel. We have our special guest, Leah Letson. And please don't forget the Nidas, please, because if you don't, that's not going to be a good thing. That's her appointed name, y'all. Leah, thank you for joining us. And she is laughing. Oh, dear God. We got
Ready
it.
to go. Ready to go.
Yes.
And so, you guys, I want to say this as we get started. Go ahead, text everybody, let everybody know we have, and I'm not going to forget it either. Leah Nidas, I hear you, Nidas. We have Leah in here in the building with us. We want to ask the question. She just got done training. We're not going to keep her long tonight. So, you guys get your questions ready. We want to get this popping. We want to get it going. So,
Okay, and,
go ahead.
Eric, before we start,
Mhm.
guys, let's keep any comments. Let's keep everything respectful because we definitely don't want to have to kick anybody out. Okay, because this is our guest, and she is to be respected at every bit of this whole podcast.
That is absolutely right. And if you don't respect her, she will put a head kick on you and you will go to sleep. Okay. I just wanted to say that for Let me say that. Let me throw it out there for you. Leah's too nice to say it, so I'll say it for you, Leah. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so let's jump right into it. Let's get going. Everybody, as you come in, click the like button, do that, and we're ready to go. Okay, Leah, we know you had a training session tonight. We just want to thank you for coming in. The coach is glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. Everybody's glad you're here. We want to ask you first, is this the norm for you? Do you do two a days, training sessions this late at night? What's the norm for you?
I do 3 a days
Oh,
usually.
three a
So
day.
this is definitely normal. Yeah,
That's
this is
good.
definitely normal for me. I usually get home from the gym between 9 and 10 every night, and I'm usually there in the morning around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning,
My
and I
goodness.
train off and on throughout the day.
Wow.
Well,
Coach, what do you
Eric,
think about that? What do you think about three a days, Coach? Because I know you talked two a days. Tell me what you think about three a days.
hey, look, 2 a days. You lucky to even find an athlete willing to do that. 3 a days. This person on a mission to destroy everything in their path. And
Mm,
Eric, she told you. I mean,
yeah,
how dare you get this wrong? Okay, do you
I don't know.
understand who we have? Do you understand who we're talking to? And you got it wrong, man. Come on, Eric, making me look bad.
I don't know what is wrong with me. I apologize. How dare I even insist that she did two a days? I can't.
Yeah, I
You know,
apologize, Leah. Hey,
it's all right.
he's normally better than this. I'm sorry.
I was on a plane today, Leah. I was on a plane today. Coach knows I was traveling all day today, and I just got in. So I'm still, I'm. What's the word when you just got off the plane? I have jet lag. It's a jet lag. I blame it on the jet lag. Leah, I have a
Okay. I
question. We
guess
want
then.
to. There you go. There you go. So we like to start so the fans can hear, everybody can hear. I know a lot of people know your story, but I do want to let you guys hear it again. How did you get into fighting? What attracted you to fighting? What age did you start? What was your thing? How did it start for Leah Letson?
Okay, so when I was in college, I took a cardio kickboxing class to get in shape for basic training for the Air Force. And it just so happened that the instructors for the cardio kickboxing class own their own MMA gym. Prior to this, I didn't even know what MMA was. To be honest with you, I didn't know what jiu-jitsu was. And
Wow.
so they saw that I was like a hard worker and I had some talent because I grew up doing taekwondo. So martial arts has always been part of my life. So they invited me to come try jiu-jitsu out, and I fell in love with it the first day I tried it. Um, so I started doing jiu-jitsu a little bit before I left for basic training, and then I was gone for about 6 months. And when I got back from basic training and all of the Air Force stuff I had to do, um, I started getting into sparring and I started going to fight team practices, and I just fell in love with the sport like right away. And about a month, 2 months later, I had my very first amateur fight, and I ended up winning by TKO. And that was the most incredible adrenaline rush I've ever had in my life. And I've been in love with the sport and obsessed with it ever since.
You say your
I was,
very first fight?
was yeah, my very first fight, I had less than 24-hour notice. My
Wow.
coach called me up 10 o'clock the night before. Was, hey, he's like, hey, pack your bags because you're coming up here and you're going to fight tomorrow. So I did, and I won. And I was 21 years old when I started. So I've been doing this for about 4 years now.
That is awesome. So what was your feeling, Leo, going into that first fight as you before it started, when you're in the back and even up until now? We always say, because as everybody hears you talk, it's very obvious. You smile, you have a very radiant smile, you have a bubbly personality. But we've seen you in the ring and we know that you turn into a killer when it's time to fight. So it's always that that happens in athletes, and these top athletes, we see this transition. When does it happen for you? Is it right in the locker room before? When did you change from this smiley, bubbly Leah to this person who will do real damage to someone in the octagon?
Probably as I'm walking out to the cage.
Oh, okay.
I'm usually myself until about then.
Wow.
Yeah. And then once I'm in the cage, I'm so focused and nothing else matters. I'm just focused on what I have to do to win. My coach calls it my transformation from Leah Letson to Leah Nidas. So
See, there it is.
yeah. So it's a real thing. My coach even talks about it.
So you turn into a Super Saiyan, from the time you enter that ring, So, we need to give you a Saiyan name, like they call Goku Goku. We need to call you, I don't know, Leah, I don't know, Leah Letson Cool or something, because you're going in there and you pretty much, you're laying these people out. I want to ask you, like, well, Eric, have you ever seen some of her training footage? I don't know, Leah. I got to disagree with you. I think it seems like you're pretty intense when you training, when you're doing mitts. Like have you ever seen photographs of yourself doing mitts? Like you look like you're ready to just take the guy's hand off. I've literally,
when
you
I'm
got that
training,
look.
I'm pretty focused.
Yeah, that's one thing about you that that I've noticed. Like, and I think in two of your fights, you were the underdog. I know when you fought Elizabeth Phillips, you were definitely the underdog coming in because she had UFC experience, and you just went in and you waited. And we talked about this before. You waited, and then you set up the head kick, and you just picked up on it. And I was saying, what, God, Leah, you're a young fighter, and young fighters don't pick up on little cues that fighters do or mistakes, and you picked up on it. Could you kind of maybe take us back through that again? Or, well, the people here don't really know, but could you take us through it?
Yeah. So, I knew she was going to be tough, just because she had more experience than I had, and she had fought in the UFC before. So, I definitely used the first minute of the fight to feel out what their tendencies are and just see how she's going to react and like what her game plan is going to be. And then once I start to feel comfortable, that's when I start to open up a little bit more. And in that first minute, I noticed that she kept dropping her rear hand and leaning off to her rear side. And doing that rear leg head kick is something that I've practiced and trained pretty much my whole life because, like I said, I had a Taekwondo background, so kicks come pretty naturally to me. But we specifically trained for that jab hook rear leg kick. That whole camp, me and my striking coach. So he saw it, I saw it. He was calling for it, and so I just kind of waited a few seconds, and when I felt that the time was right, I just threw it, and it landed perfectly clean, and I couldn't have asked for a better outcome.
You did it more than once in that fight, though. And see, I'm the guy that's going back. I look at videos all the time, and I break down fights. And matter of fact, I ain't trying to butter you up, but I am doing a film study on you. So, I'm gonna actually send you that when I do it. It's just I'm breaking down some of the stuff that you did in the fight, and you did that to Elizabeth Phillips. Like, you picked up on it quick because you did it before. The first time you didn't knock her out, but it got her attention, and then you did it again. I was like, man, she fell for that twice. And I like Liz because she's tough, like you said. But man, it was really, it was almost like a work of art. How you kept doing it.
Yeah, well, she kept giving me the same kind of reactions, so I was just waiting for the perfect moment to throw it to the head. I believe I threw it. I landed a body kick earlier in the fight with the same sort of combination and setup. And she just kept giving me the same look. So I threw the head kick and it worked.
Well,
Incredible.
as I was hearing this coach, I love this. I love this when we have fighters here, and Leah is saying exactly what I love to hear from fighters. Thinking fighters. Fighters who are actually in the ring, processing what's going on in front of them, looking for the openings and trying to set up their opponents. You always know that you have a thinking fighter, and usually when you have a thinking fighter, you have a great coach behind a thinking fighter. Leah, is this something that your coach put in you early when you first started, or is this something that's just kind of a natural thing for you even before you started fighting? Is the way you process, the way you look at the fight game, and you actually think, actually as you're in there fighting, you're thinking?
I'd like to say that it's something that my coaches really worked with me on. Because, when you first start training for kickboxing and stuff, you're so defensive minded. You're not really sure what to do or anything. And then as you get more and more experienced, you get to the next level where you get to be more offensive and reactive. And then the top level strikers always are the thinking fighters, like you said. And my coaches work really hard with me and my teammates to make sure that we're all thinking fighters. We're not just going in there like fighting and throwing whatever we want to throw. We're very smart about the way we fight and how we fight and what we're throwing. So that's definitely something that my coaches worked with me on.
RDA.
And it shows. It absolutely shows in your fight game as we watching. And I'm so excited. I know you heard him, Leah. Trust me, that film study coach is gonna do on you. It's gonna be super dope. It's gonna be great. I'm looking forward to seeing it. I actually can't wait to see it. So, Coach, I think you had another question from someone in the comment section. Did you have something coming up there?
Yeah, Leah, you got some questions in this comment section. It's crazy. Like that's the good thing I like about a live stream, because you can actually interact with people like right here, and they're talking to you. Hold on, I'm trying to cut this thing out because it's echoing. All right. So okay, first somebody asked about the Air Force. Yeah, somebody asked you about the Air Force. Is it tough being in the Air Force? And I think that's from my guy George Page. Oh, super chat. Thank you, George Page, for the super chat. The coach is gonna take that, and me and Eric, we're gonna go get a haircut. Okay.
All right. Okay. I need one. Yeah. I need a trim up. Thank you.
Yeah. But he asked you about the airport. I'm sorry, the Air Force. I'm sorry, Leah. Is it true? Okay, he said, is it true? Do you have to really be smart to be in the Air Force? That's his question.
Oh my God.
I mean, you don't have to be super smart to be in the Air Force. I know that from experience, but you have to be able to pass the ASVAB, which you have to be able to do for all branches of the military. But what job you have in the Air Force? For my job, you have to be a little bit smarter than most jobs, but I still believe that anyone can do it.
Okay. Well, I don't know. It takes I don't think anybody can just step in there and do what y'all do, every day. So, I think it takes a special person.
Anyone who's mentally tough can handle it.
There you go. Make that specification. Make that specification.
So Leah, if I told you that if I said that 8 + 8 was 3,000, do you think that I would have a chance of passing the ASVAB?
I don't think you'd pass the ASVAB then.
Wow.
Or high school.
Okay, Leah, that kind of hurt. You calmly just roasted me pretty bad, and I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry about this one.
Don't cry.
I love it. Holy man, that's what's.
Leah is what you call a low-key assassin. See how she just like on the low roasted you, Coach? It was nice, it was sweet, but she just totally took your head off right there. Leah, we had another good question right here from, I saw Reggie the Tree, it just popped up. He wanted to know, what are your short? Oh, let me say this, Coach. We always say this. We've kind of hidden around it, but thank you for your service, Leah. We always want to say that.
Oh, thank you.
I say we appreciate your service and everything we do. We even had some people in the comment section that say thank you for your service. So we really appreciate that. Always want to say that. So we had a question on what are your short-term goals in the MMA and what are your long-term goals in the MMA? Like, what are your immediate goals, and then where do you see this thing going in the future?
Okay, so my short-term and like immediate goals right now is to get back into fighting shape and just knock the rust off my skills, just because taking 8 months off is hard to do. I mean, I was training a little bit over there, but it's nothing compared to what I'm used to here. So I have to focus on getting back into fight shape, which is it's pretty different than just like going for a run and like being in shape for the average person. And I need to get some rust knocked off my skills a little bit. So that's my immediate goal. Long-term goal, obviously, I want to be the best in the world. I want to be UFC champion.
Yeah.
I want Dana White to strap that belt around my waist.
Get him.
Uh-oh.
Get him. Get him.
Yes. And Dana. Now you gotta let's cut the light off. Let's stop the shine on your bald head for a second, Dana. Look, you got an athlete right here. Okay, you got an athlete right here. She telling you what's gonna happen. She not playing. Okay, and you know, I even asked you like before, like even a tough question, and you were like, look, I'll fight. You know, if I'm prepared, I'll fight anybody, and that's what you said. You like, yeah, I'll fight anybody. You'll do it.
Yeah.
I think your destiny, and the reason I make film studies on people when I see like what their true talent is. And Leah, I peeped yours earlier. No, you think I'm kidding? When you see this film study, you're gonna be like, he really made a film study on me. What the heck? But it's kind of refreshing because I think I know where you're going, and that's why I'm sharing the same platform space with Leah Letson. And I don't even think you realize when I say that you're like, oh, okay, well I'm just me every day. But see, we don't know what it's like to be you every day because we're talking to you right now, Leah.
That's right. That's right, Coach. And don't, Coach, I can feel
thank
her.
you for those compliments.
Her getting shot. You're making her blush, Coach. Don't do that. It's late at night.
No. I'm just saying we are very appreciative. Like I'm just, you know, just talking because you know you probably get these requests all the time, and it's like, wow, okay, Leah Letson came on. Well, are you serious? Oh man,
it's really cool. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And another thing, Coach, I want to say something I'm picking up on about Leah is that, see, we at the beginning, Leah, we thought that the whole Leah Nidas thing, like Leah Nidas was kind of far back and you had to be ready to fight or something for the Nidas to pop out. No, Leah Nidas is actually always right there under the skin. You see, all you have to do is ask her a certain question. As soon as we ask her, you notice this, Coach? As soon as we ask her, like, what are your future goals? Leah Letson just jumped out. Well, I want to be the best. And I loved it. I think it's great. It is so awesome. Whenever we ask a fighter what their goals are, it's so great to hear their answer because you get all these different answers when you ask their long-term goals. Well, I don't know if I'm going to still be doing this, or I don't know. I just want to try whatever happens. I love to hear fighters say, I want to be the best. She said she wants Dana White strapping that belt on. Dana White, I hope you heard that because it's gonna happen. We're putting it out there right now. So tell him, Coach.
And it better not be Joe Rogan, okay? Not that guy. It cannot be Joe Rogan. Do not let Joe Rogan touch the belt. It has to be Dana White Senior. I think he's the senior. He's the only one. So it should be Dana. Now I got a question for you. Okay, so let's say, you know, you get your first bout in the UFC and they say, hey, Leah, you know, we got a fighter for you here. We want you to fight. Hey, let's get in the octagon with Megan Anderson.
Uh-oh.
You know, and she's up and coming just like you are. Man, what would you think of like the reality of that fight happening?
I don't know how likely it is to happen, but if it got offered, I would for sure take it in a heartbeat.
Man, that'd be an awesome fight. It'd be good because it two of the best featherweights in the world, like right there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot of Invicta featherweight talent in Invicta. Like Leah, I don't know. I'm saying this. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but I think you're gonna become the Invicta heavyweight, the Invicta champion before you make your journey into the UFC. I think you're gonna be the featherweight champion of Invicta first.
It's possible. I honestly don't know what's going to happen just because I just got back and I'm just getting back into training. So I don't even have any fight on the horizon yet. I would take that fight, a title fight, in Invicta if it was offered to me, probably. I would also take a UFC fight if it was offered to me. I'm pretty open right now for whatever comes my way. At bantamweight, not featherweight. That last fight was just at featherweight because it was the last minute,
okay.
like a short notice fight. So.
Oh, wait a minute, Eric. We are corrected. Wait a minute, bantamweight. Well, no, that just changes. That changes everything. Man,
that changes a lot, doesn't it?
I'll fight at both. I'll fight at both weight classes, but I prefer bantamweight.
You're gonna get in bantamweight and cause. I mean, you're gonna cause hell in that division, man. It's gonna be head kicks everywhere. It's gonna be bodies on the floor. Leah, are you? I mean, you seem like you're prepared to do that kind of damage.
Yeah.
See, there it is.
I can't wait.
There it is.
The silent killer, the silent assassin. Is at it again. There she low key. Here it is. Leah Nidas Letson hashtag low key assassin. I got it, Leah. Let's work that hashtag up. Everybody start hashtag low key assassin. Now, Leah, is there any names? Because see, when you say bantamweight, that's why you heard Coach and I going, oh, because of course I know Coach did it. We just both probably pictured you with like 5 or 6 different women in great fights that we can see when you said bantamweight. So is there anyone, and not trying to make you call anybody out, but hey, if you want to call somebody out here on the show, we would like that too. But are there any names that you look at that you say, okay, this is actually possible. This is someone I would really like to get it on with?
I mean, I don't really like to call fighters out. That's just not the kind of person I am. So, I would fight. Honestly, I would fight anybody in the bantamweight division in the UFC right now.
Okay. All right. Well,
bantamweight, she'll put you guys on notice. That's just how it is. So she says she'll fight anybody. Don't even construe it. If you're on the list and if you're eligible, she gonna fight you. Okay, that's just how it is. So I'm telling y'all, hey, and all you bantamweights, if you listening to this podcast, don't let that smile fool you. Okay, because behind that smile is somebody with a crippling right hand, a debilitating head kick. Okay, works the body. Your liver is gonna be gone. Listen, I'm one of y'all now. Before you stepping out the gun, hey, talk to your manager. Hey, say if you're gonna duck her, look, just be honest about the ducking, so I can call you out on that. But yeah, this girl's dangerous. Okay, and I Leah, with some of the film I got on you already. Oh man, this gonna be probably one of the best film studies I've ever done. I'm going all out on this one. I'm going all out. Okay. But I do
that.
Okay. I'm telling you, you're gonna enjoy it. If you don't, then I'm gonna start over and then we'll just do it again. Okay, until you like it. But no, seriously. Let me ask you. So, what kind of time frame do you have? Okay, like what's your time frame? Like, say from the now that we're having this conversation to, Dana strapping that belt around your waist.
Oh, that's really hard to say. 2 years.
Okay. 2 years.
Or less.
She said, or less. Did you hear that, Coach? I keep trying to point out that Leah Letson is just hanging right there under the skin. No, I don't think people see it like I see it yet. You notice she said or less. She's trying to let y'all know something. She's trying to send a direct message out there. I'm not mad at you, Leah. So now, Leah, we had a couple of people ask, what is your height? What's your height? How tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
5'7". Okay, we were looking at. We had some guys and some ladies out here trying to figure out your height because you're going to be in that division. That'll be a good height. Coach, you're really good at this, and we know Leah, like she said, she doesn't like to call people out, so we won't ask her to do that. But you're really good at this, Coach. Who can you see as like a realistic fight there in the bantamweight division? Who is a good fight there? Because I know you kind of had Megan picked out earlier up at featherweight, but who would you see at bantamweight? Who would you like to see Leah get in with?
Her first fight in the shoot, man. Buddy, boy, this is tough. You know what?
Come on, Coach.
It'll be great to see her and Caitlin Chikugian because, man, they both are masters. They masters of the kick, man. That'll be a kicking exhibition. If that was a Leah Letson dream fight, I want to see that fight, the first fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, let me see. Hold on. See, I just get too excited. Caitlin Chikugian, she had to be the first one. And then maybe Raquel Pennington or maybe Juliana Pena, they back. And then title shot versus Amanda Nunes. And then it'll be on UFC 2 something, pay-per-view. And boy, I'm already pay for it in advance. I mean, that's my thought. Good grief.
I can only picture the smile on Leah's face right now if we talk about all these big fights for her, because I know she wants to see these big fights. I want to see these big fights come in. Leah, I got to ask you this too. Now, of the ladies that are out there fighting, of the active ladies, who are the fighters that you like? Whose fight game do you look at and say, I like the way she fights? Who are your favorite fighters out there right
now? Well, she's not in my weight class, but I really liked Rose Namajunas, and I like J-Tech a lot.
Yes.
But they're not in my weight class, so.
Okay, well, Coach.
In my weight class, I don't really know.
Leah, you just opened up.
Yes. Yes.
Coach. It is. I gotta ask you this. You mentioned Rose and you mentioned Joanna. We have to ask this. It's obligatory. Did Joanna tap Leah? Did she tap?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. I told you guys. That's three professionals on this show that said that. I told you guys. I tried to tell y'all that this is what happened. I told y'all. Okay, that's it. Yeah.
I knew it was like that.
I actually got to. I watched that fight overseas while I was on duty, actually, because the Armed Forces Network had the UFC fights on, and so I got to watch that one while I was working overseas.
Nice. Were you surprised?
Crazy.
Yeah. Were you shocked when you saw it? Did you expect that going in?
Yeah, I did not picture that happening. I was watching it with actually one of my Australian friends, and we were both like completely shocked by the outcome of that whole card. It was crazy. Yeah. It was probably one of the best UFC cards I think I've ever seen.
It was like upset on every fight. It was like upset special going like all night long. It was a crazy card. Now, Leah, there's another fight coming up. And Coach, buckle your seatbelt again, because we have to ask you this. We have to ask you about the Holly Holm Chris Cyborg fight. Chris Cyborg Holly Holm fight. Leah, if you had a pick, give us your pick. If you can, tell us what you think is going to happen in that fight.
First of all, I'd just like to put this out there. I'm terrible at picking fights because I always pick the wrong one. But I honestly think that Cyborg's going to win.
Oh, you hear that, Coach?
Eric, you know what? You're not going to put my dear friend Leah Letson on the spot anymore. Eric, if you do this again, I'm going to expose you because you picked Joanna Jacek to win, and of course I didn't. But Eric, listen to me, man, because right now you're messing up. Okay, okay. Do not put my friend on the spot again, or else I will figure out what's next.
Don't figure it out, Coach. I'm so sorry, Leah. I will say I picked Joanna. Yes, I did. I did pick Joanna. Yes, I did. I'm not hiding from it. Coach knows. Look at my man George, Coach. Look at my man George. He told you to block me. George, you're supposed to be my guy. What's up with that, man? Leah comes in. Yeah. Leah, when you come in, everybody change on me. Everybody just goes to Team Leah Nidas. That's okay. I'm on Team Leah Nidas too. So
Leah, I'm going to definitely agree with your assessment, and I think that this is going to be the first fight that you get correct. Okay. I think Leah, I think your supreme wisdom has taken over at this time. Eric believes Holly's going to win, and and I told him, and I told him before this man when I said, Eric, you cannot disagree with the professional here, and Leah is a professional, and Eric, you gotta treat it like this when she's making these predictions, okay?
Yeah, Leah, Coach is over. Let me tell you this: I did not pick Holly to win this fight.
He did. He absolutely did.
No, I didn't. Leah, don't listen to that. I said that I think Holly has a shot. It could be a close, not even say a close fight. I said maybe Holly has a shot. In some way, he just morphed that to the pick. But Coach thinks that it's going to be
change
pretty
up.
much. Coach thinks, here's segue. That's guys. I love to say. I let it go to something else. Coach said that he thinks it's not going to even really be a competitive fight. Now we can ask you this, Leah. What are your strengths that you see as you look at both of those two fighters? Let's start with Cyborg. When you look at Cyborg as a fighter, what do you see in her that makes her such a top talent, Leah?
What are her strengths?
Yeah, what do you see in her? What are her strengths?
Well, she's definitely super strong. Once she gets a hold of you, I think she's very, very powerful, and you have to be careful of her strikes. She definitely has knockout power. I feel like if she were to grab onto you, she would be very, very strong and very overpowering while grappling. But Holly Holm is really good with her movement. She showed that with the Ronda Rousey fight. She's very light on her feet, and she's able to move around you. So I think that it could potentially be if Holly is able to use her footwork and outmaneuver Cyborg. That's just my assessment.
Okay.
Go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, Coach. I know you got something.
So, no, I just want to ask you. Okay, so what are your strengths? Like, let's say if you were just like you had to assess yourself. Like, what are your strengths? Don't tell us your weakness because we don't want your competition trying to figure out your weakness because you told them. So I just want to know, what are your strengths?
I think my strengths are that I'm super well-rounded, so I feel super comfortable no matter where the fight goes. I kind of just go with what my opponent gives me, and I'm not just like a striker or a wrestler or a jiu-jitsu person. I can do all three, and I can blend them pretty well together. So I think that that's my biggest strength, that I am strong no matter where the fight ends up.
This is a truth. This is a very, very truth. I've seen it in several fights. I've seen you do it on the ground. I've seen you do it in stand up. And can you tell people, like, really how much of an art it is to really, well, I'm gonna ask you one question first. To actually set somebody up to deliver a head kick, because you've done it and you do it well, and it's not something that you're just doing like out of luck. It's actually you're setting it up. Could you tell people like how you actually just get people? I mean, because fighters have different styles, but you manage to get these different fighters with different styles. They walk right into a head kick, and I can't get off of the head kick because it's fascinating the way you set it up.
I've set it up based on what she was doing. She kept leaning to her right and dropping her hand. So all I had to do was get her to lean that way. So by throwing out my lead hand, my jab, every time I did that, she was going to the same direction, and I picked up on that. So once I felt ready to throw the head kick, I threw a jab hook with my lead hand to get her to lean that way, and followed it immediately with my left head kick. And she had the same reaction. She dropped her hand. She leaned right into what was my shin then. So it couldn't have landed cleaner. It was like the perfect setup for it.
But you've done it twice, though. It wasn't just against Phillips. You did it before that.
That was actually my first head kick knockout. I've TKO'd people before, but I've never knocked anyone out with a head kick before the Liz Phillips fight.
There's somebody else on your resume that you put to sleep.
Oh, yeah. That was with strikes, though.
Okay.
With punches.
Okay, maybe I'm so infatuated with that, with how you place the kick, and I guess I do. It's a technical piece to me, so I keep looking at it. I'm like, wow. So, okay, Eric, do you have a question? Because man, I can keep asking like a ton.
Well, no, I was just gonna jump in and ask her really fast, and I love the way I want to point out again when the Leah Nidas comes. When she said I did that one with punches, she was like, "Oh, you told me put somebody else to sleep, but that was with the hands that time. That wasn't the shin, that was the hand." So that was another great moment by Leah, another great soundbite. Leah, I wanted to ask you this: if there was like a fight that you look at to where you say, or maybe you haven't gotten to that fight yet, but is there a fight that you look at and say it kind of all came together tonight? I showed what I really can do. Do you feel like you've already had that fight? If so, who was that fight? Who were you fighting against? If not, are you looking for that moment still to come in your career?
I think that, see, you're asking the wrong person that question because I'm such a perfectionist that I am never 100% satisfied with my performance, which is probably why I work so hard in the gym, because I'm trying to get that perfect fight. And obviously, there's no such thing as a perfect fight, so I'll never be 100% satisfied. But there's always something more I wish I would have done in my fights, even in that that Invicta fight. There, I didn't get to showcase any of my wrestling or grappling in that fight. I mean, it was still a great fight, but I didn't get to show all of my skills. So I think I still have yet to have the fight where I can show off all of the skills that I have. But I mean, I will never be 100% satisfied with any fight that I have, just because that's who I am. I'm a huge perfectionist.
And that makes a lot of sense. Now, another question I was going to ask you, because you speak a lot about your coach. When you are in the octagon fighting, as the fight is actually taking place, do you drown out the noise of the audience? Can you hear family members or friends in the front row? Kick him, Leah! Grab her head! Do you hear that, or do you only hear the voice of your coach during the fight?
I can hear the audience, but it's pretty muffled. I don't pay attention to it at all. I'm very focused on my coach's voice. So I can hear all of my coaches in my corner, whether it's 2 or 3 of them, depending on the fight. I can hear them clearly. And I think it's because I train with them so much that I am so tuned in to their voices that I can pick them out of a crowd easily. No matter how loud it is in there, I always can hear my coaches.
Nice. And are you actually reacting to the things they say pretty well? Like, I've always wondered, like, when I see fighters doing this and they're going through these changes and their coaches yelling out things, do you find it easy to react and adjust to what they're saying, or is that like a struggle within itself?
My coaches always compliment me on this. They always say that I'm super coachable because I actually listen to what they're saying. So not only can I hear them, but I'm processing what they're saying and I'm looking to do what they're saying. I might not do it right away. I'm waiting for the moment to feel right. I'm waiting to feel it, but I can always process what they're saying to me, and I'm always looking to do whatever they're calling out.
That's great.
I can actually see that. I mean, I can definitely see that in you, being very coachable, because when I started like getting your videos together for the film study, I even noticed how you respond in the corner. Like you're very attentive to your corner people, and that's something that I don't see, young fighters do. And you're 24. No, you're 24 right now, right?
I turned 25 in August.
Well, happy birthday! See, you should have said something. I'd have got you a free, Coach Shelton Harrison T-shirt or something like that. I don't have one, but I'd have gave it to you. Out of getting some heart.
You could still give me one for Christmas if you wanted.
Tell him,
okay.
I mean,
all right. I got you. I got you, Leah.
Shirt.
Tell him.
Okay, I got you, Leah. You'll get that Coach Shelton Harrison T-shirt. If it's the last thing that I give you on earth, it'll be that.
Oh my God.
But I do notice though that you're very attentive in the corner, and that's the sign of a true champion. And doing my first interview with you, I done so much research on you, and even in your training sessions, like you're just everything that you're doing, you're putting extra focus on everything. Even going as far as hitting a heavy bag, you're actually putting focus on it. And I keep telling people, this girl she's going places. She's got a future. And, I can see it. It's outlined. I mean, you give everybody a detailed depiction on your video timelines of everything. Like you're doing the groundwork. If you were to say anything about what you do the best, okay, in a training atmosphere, because I know what you do well in fights, but what do you do best in training?
I guess I listen to what my coaches tell me, and I will not stop working until I get it right. I'm the hardest working person you will ever meet. So I think that that's what sets me apart from most other fighters is I'm willing to do whatever it takes, no matter how like tired I am or how sick of being at the gym I am. I'm always there. I'm always training. I'm basically living at the gym all the time.
It's good, a gym rat. And so I like that. And coach, I want you to do something here, but I want to get another question in for Leah. I know we're getting close to her time. We don't want to keep her late. She came through, graced us with her presence. But Leah, we do have another question came from out of the comment section. Reggie asked, how long do you see yourself fighting? Do you have like a time limit out there and how long you actually want to do this, or is it more on a come what may basis?
I don't have a specific timeline. Right now, I want to do this for as long as possible. So I don't plan on quitting anytime in the near future at all. I mean, I'm only 25, so I have the potential to do this for another 10, 12 years if I really wanted to.
That's what I'm
But
talking about.
I don't have a specific timeline or anything like that.
Awesome. Awesome. As all your answers are awesome. Now, coach, I have to ask you something here. And it's about Leah. Leah, I want you to listen to this because this is when we ask coach about these things. It's great for him to share this with the fighters. Coach, as you know, he's a coach. He has a coach background. That's what he does every day. And he's very attentive and he can zone in on fighters and their strengths. And especially after we interview with him, he's interviewed with you before. Coach, I want you to give me a breakdown of Leah Letson, the fighter, what you see in her as a fighter, her upside, where you think she can go. Looking at her through your coaching lens, tell me what you think her strengths are, and how far do you think you can take this? Break it down for us, coach.
When I watch Leah fight, it really is. I'm watching art, and she's highly technical. She's very very technical. I feel like she's extremely technical. The speed, she may not be as fast as she wants to be, but she makes up for it with her technique. Even the way, she's delivering her jabs. If you even look at from fight to fight, how her jab is actually, she's using it better and she's pumping it a little bit more. She's setting stuff up with it. Her leg kicks, man, the leg kicks is becoming a weapon for her. But I also noticed too, when she's got these girls on the ground, they can't rotate back up. Like once Leah gets them down, they're down. Like nobody's like, scrambling to get back to their feet. They're not doing that with her. She's keeping them down, and then she's controlling them with her top position and giving them some great ground and pound. But, Leah makes adjustments in the fight. Like if somebody, is doing something that's uncomfortable, Leah makes an adjustment and she does it quickly. And then it's like she's on a mission. She completes the mission. It's crazy. It's almost like, you're watching, and I'm always thinking, how this woman, performs in the military. I think she takes that same attitude, complete the mission into the octagon. It's crazy, but it's also like, she's on, at the time when I was doing when I was looking at her videos, wow, she's only 24. Okay, wow, she's only 25. And she's making veteran-like adjustments. And also too, when she's landed a shot, she's getting hit, Leah doesn't tend to panic. She just kind of remains calm. And I think her calmness and her spirit and her demeanor, it's why she's so successful. She's very calm. And I'm like, wow, to be like a killer like she is in the octagon, she's still very calm, at all times.
Nice. Now, coach, where do you see it going? Like, when you look at her, and I know and think about this, Leah, as I know coach won't say this, and I know I know this answer because he's already said it to me before, but you actually see championship level in Leah, right, coach?
Yeah, absolutely. I see her actually becoming a champion. And I see her actually fighting for the title because it's just no way, when she's an underdog and then she'll come in and just win the fight. It's just her expectation of herself is greater than what somebody said. And I think that's the biggest thing, her attitude towards these fights. I mean, she's coming in and I'm not losing. Nope, I'm here to win the championship. And See, that's self-explanatory to me. It's like I don't care who has the belt is going to get ripped out of your hands. It's coming to me.
Mhm.
So she thinks of herself more than what anybody else could, which that's a great attribute. So you got a calm person that makes adjustments, that thinks that they're already a champion. And I can imagine Leah probably wake up every day. I'm the champion of the world, baby. I'm the champion of the world, baby. I am. I'm the world champion. And I know because, how she responds now. But I mean, this woman has the sky's the limit. As long as she keeps listening to her coaches and really just being who she is right now, and that's the person that's just on a mission to dominate. I think she can become the champion. And not saying that because you're interviewing with me, but because I don't sugarcoat things. Yeah, I like to really encourage people, but I wouldn't sugarcoat it. Like I would never say it if I didn't mean it. I think she can become the champion.
And I will second that, Leah, and say he has said those things to me. So this is truly, like he said, he's not just sugarcoating it, giving you lip service right here. And I agree with all that stuff. I love the fact that Leah is, I love her responses. Like she wants to be the best. And you can't be the best unless you see yourself being the best first. That's one thing I can hear in Leah's confidence, that she's already seen herself at that goal and she believes she's going to get there. Coach, because we know Leah's confident. Give us 2 fights for all our people, for the people who are watching now, the people who are going to watch over the next month. Give us 2 fights if they have not seen Leah Letson in action. Coach, tell 2 fights that these fans need to go watch to know the type of fighter we're dealing with right here.
They need to watch 3. Okay, look,
3, that's better than 2. 3 is even better.
Yeah, you can't do that. Okay, and I'll tell you why. One, she fought Shayna Cox, and you can see how she was able. The fight was quick, but you can see how she was able to really control the ground. She fought Elizabeth Phillips. You can see how she set up the head kick that she did more than once. And then there was another fight. She fought Alana Jones, and you can actually see some of her other skill sets because that fight was able to go to distance, but you can see a lot of Leah's skill sets, and it kind of gave me an opportunity to see, okay, so this is what she does when she gets to the later rounds. Okay, this is like you can see like the patience. How she was using her skill set to set up an array of attacks. In that fight. So those are the 3 fights that I would say, hey, really watch those fights because those are great fights where you can get really a great assessment on what this woman can do.
That's great. And see, Leah, you see what I'm saying about Coach Leah? He will break it down. He had the fights broken down. You guys got to go through and check these fights out. That is a really, really good deal. Leah, do you have anywhere, if they want to reach out to you, social media platforms, you have any pages you can shout out for the fans here?
Yeah, they can reach me on Facebook, facebook.com/LA Letson, I believe. And then my fan page is Leah Nidas MMA, as well as my Twitter and Instagram at Leah Nidas MMA.
Nice.
And I will put these up on the screen and see, Leah. We're getting advanced here. Very advanced.
We're
I'm gonna throw this up on the screen. Yeah, Leah, I'm telling you, we turn this into a multi-million-dollar extravaganza here. But hold on, I'm gonna show it to you guys.
I'm honored to be on the show,
then. See, she always has the best answer. She always has a really good answer. It's like part of your training, Leah, is like interview training. It's like your coach is also telling you the way to answer great questions. It's crazy. Do a good job with that too. And you guys also, everybody out there in the comment section, there it is right there. Coach is pulling this up. Go to this page, like this page. If you're listening to this tomorrow, the next day, go like this page, follow Leah at these places. Coach, you have anything else going on for the people here? You want to give another shout out to Leah as we get ready to close?
Leah, did we skip anything? Let me stop this. Did we skip anything? Is there anything that you want to highlight that you didn't even get to talk about that we should have mentioned, and then that we can apologize to you for?
That's right.
No, I think we talked about just about everything.
Okay. All right. Well, Leah, again, I appreciate it, and definitely in the future, I want to, talk to you again in a podcast, and it's great talking to you. And I've kind of kept up with you since you've been deployed. Like every now and then I just send you out a message, and you happy you respond, and it's kind of cool. Like just knowing some of the stuff that you do, even outside of the outside of the octagon. I mean, you are a very, you know, well-rounded person. So it's kind of like, wow, you know, okay, she does this. You know, and then you went to like a military ball. That was pretty cool. I was like, man, that's awesome, you know. So, you know, Leah can beat people up. She can dress up nice, and then she can come back and beat people up some more. Like, I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. But Leah, I really want to thank you. And you know, when this is over, you just have to, you know, send me your PO box, and I'll make sure that you get the T-shirt.
Oh, okay.
Leah,
I'm actually gonna get
No.
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah. I was serious about that.
Okay.
She said, okay. She's like, okay. So, Leah, I want to ask you this now. I'm not putting you on the spot, but I have to ask you because maybe we have some witnesses here. When you get your next fight set up, you have to come back and join us. You have to announce it and tell us about it here. Is that okay? Can you come do that with us again?
That is, of course, that's fine.
Okay, everybody heard
I'll
it.
definitely keep you guys updated on my Facebook and Twitter.
Nice. Well, we want you to come back and join us again. And I want to second what Coach said. It has been a privilege interviewing you. Thank you. We know you were tired. Usually we go a little longer, and the reason we wanted to cut it off is because we know you do 3 a days. Remember, you let me know at the beginning you do 3 a day. So we got to do
Yeah, Eric. And next time, please don't get that wrong. Okay, you embarrassed me. You know, you just embarrassed me. And you know, Leah, I will apologize for him for getting that wrong. Don't you ever get anything else wrong with her, okay?
My bad, Leah. I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay. See, she forgave you. Glad. Thank you for forgiving her.
Good deal.
Okay. Well, guys, on behalf of Emays and Eric, and on behalf of Leah Nidas Letson, and please don't forget the Nidas. This is Coach Shelton Harrison, and yeah, we're out. And please, guys, go follow Leah on Instagram, follow her on Twitter, follow her on Facebook page. I mean, so treat to see, you know, everything